Continuing on with theme the controls, we're going to start out in the menu screen. And we've already changed the background. You can play with the fonts. There's also a cursor that you need to deal with or not. But in this case, we're going to just click on that cursor, and what it'll do is bring up some options. You can use an image. You can actually go in and use a color wheel and play with it that way. And you can also use the gradients, and that's usually what I see more often than not. So you have a bottom and a top in the gradients, and what I try to do, depending on what font color I choose to use over here in this list, if I'm going to leave it white, then obviously I can take a dark, and I just usually do a color picker, go over here and maybe pick something dark and go that direction. And you might even want to leave this blue the way it is, and then just click OK and see what that does in the menu screen. That doesn't look really good, so I'm going to maybe do something like this. I'm going to choose a black and maybe go to the blue right there, and we'll see how that works. Now you can see there's a little bit of a change here. There's a lot of things you can do with this. You can step this back up and go even lighter, as light as you can in the blues, maybe get it so it's up even something like that. You can also change the highlight font to black, and see what that does for you. But in this case, we're probably going to leave them white in both areas. So that's pretty much everything in the menu. Now, if the title has the same, we're going to leave it white. So what I usually do is just go in and find the color picker, find that bottom of that menu, find the top of the menu, and cursor, and click on those and use the same thing in the title area. And moving quickly onto the list, there is a background, and this is white, and this is going to be found down here in the global items. So if you go down and click on that box and go to the application, you'll see that the text is set at black and the background is set at white. Now I would recommend that you leave a darker text. Works best Messenger because you get an automatic white or a gray background. So if you go with a light color, your text won't show it very well at all. So I leave it at black. I might take this color picker and maybe change it to this blue perchance in the background. And then if you get out of this and go back up into your menu, you now have this blue here. Now you have a cursor to deal with as well here. And you're going to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check this darker blue and leave it just like that. Now this subtext, if I was to get rid of these two boxes, you'll see that right now I've got it set in gray. And so what I want to do is I'm going to change this to white as well. So you will see these changes in your list box. And then I go to the multi section, and what I generally do is just pick somewhere in the middle or upper echelon, and it usually turns out and makes this scroll cursor stand out quite nicely. Then in the stripe, which is these two that are left, I usually go to that one, and then I go to this area and I run this brighter and get a little offset blue there. So now you have everything set up in this box. You can also go to the messages at this point in time and change out this color. You may not like the red. I kind of feel like it's gives me a blurry look at it, so I might change it to black. I might change it to white. Right now we'll probably just change it into white and leave it that way. And then there's 3 areas in the message box that you can also change. You have a background. What I'd do there was just probably go into this background to blue and find this image here, maybe change that to there. You can change this to white as well or leave it as black. Go in and find the icon, the message icons. Remember, we changed the unread icons, so we're going to go down and find the message icons and click on those, and we'll change them to a blue as well. Go back into the web icons, change those to match, and that's the way we'll leave this setting up as it is. You have this, I believe, if I recall, I actually went into the light blues to get that. So let's see what that were. Yes, so let's go and choose that and see what that does for us instead. We're going to go this direction instead. That stands out a little bit better. So that's what you can do in the list and the list and in your messages. Go back in now and set these buttons back up. You'll see that the colors are coordinated quite nicely. Now another real quick thing we can do is set this search Pong, and we don't want to go with that color, so we will go back and see what the blue has for us in the search Pong, and you can double click on it and set that image as well. Now you'll need to hide the title to find this. And this search Pong is actually set at 11, 10, 10, but you can do the same thing. Drag the corners, get up here somewhere close to center. Just make sure it's to that point. You'll want to set the text to this either black or white. Black looks fine. We may leave the cursor just like it is. We click on the title and that is set. So that gets us through the list area, or the theme that controls, plus the messages.